With Nextworld's Developer Studio, creating workflows is straightforward and powerful with the Workflow Builder. But before we jump into the how-to steps, we'll give you a workflow overview. In this video, you'll learn what workflow is, why people use it, when workflow is useful, and finally, some common workflow use cases. What workflow is. In everyday life, purchasing can be as simple as clicking a button, but in business systems, transactions rarely exist in a single state. Instead, they transition through a series of defined steps, or states. To see how this works, let's look at a simplified workflow based on a familiar experience. Placing an order online. We'll focus on the actions a customer service representative takes to process the purchase. Key steps in the workflow include changing states from new to open, signaling that the order is ready to be fulfilled, confirming when the order has shipped, and finally, issuing the invoice. A workflow is a sequence of connected steps that guides a transaction record from start to finish. Workflow establishes the life cycle of a record within a table and controls how work transitions through states, decisions, and approvals. It ensures that tasks happen in the correct order and at the appropriate time. Why people use workflow. Workflow gives businesses control over how records move through a system, rather than relying on emails, spreadsheets, or tribal knowledge. By defining clear states and transitions, businesses can count on workflow to ensure the right people take action at the right time, protect records at critical states, make decisions and approvals visible across the organization, enable automation and reduce delays, reduce errors and missing steps, and allow better reporting and insights. As a result, workflow helps organizations operate with greater accuracy, accountability, and scalability. When workflow is useful. Workflow is useful whenever a record transitions through defined states, depends on people taking action, or cannot safely be skipped. It's especially effective when approvals are required, fields must be disabled dynamically based on their status, responsibilities are clearly assigned, a record transition depends on certain conditions, a record must proceed through steps in a specific order, or you need to know who approved a record and when. If you hear phrases like send it for approval, lock it once it's submitted, route it based on conditions, or who approved this, workflow is the right solution. Common workflow use cases. Now we'll review several common workflow scenarios that illustrate how customer support workflows are applied in practice. Workflow states show where a record is in its life cycle, such as draft, submitted, or approved. This makes progress visible and prevents required steps from being skipped. For example, a support agent moves a ticket from new to in progress, so the team always knows exactly where it stands. Workflow security controls who can act on or edit a record based on its current state. This ensures that access changes appropriately as the record progresses through different states. For example, once a support ticket is submitted, only supervisors can edit the details, while agents are able to view only. Approvals use workflow to pause a record at key states until the right person or role approves or rejects it, ensuring accountability. For example, an expense report waits for a manager's approval before it can be processed. Disabling records during processes such as approvals, integrations, or reviews protects data integrity against unintended changes. Records are commonly disabled when they are waiting for approval, are complete, closed or posted, or have been canceled. When disabled, records can remain read-only, so users can view them without risking accidental changes. Subflows allow companies to customize standard Nextworld workflows to meet their business requirements. Developers link workflows to subflows to add additional transitions, approvals, or logic without rebuilding the original workflow. In this example, the base workflow transitions directly from new sales order to open sales order. However, some companies may require a credit check before the order can be opened. To support this, a subflow can be introduced. Instead of moving directly to open, the sales order transitions from new to a subflow state called pending credit check. If the credit check is approved, the subflow completes and the order exits back into the base workflow at the open sales order state. Note: a subflow can run its own logic, approvals, or transitions, but it doesn't change the order of the base workflow. Records enter a subflow at a specific state and then transition to the next appropriate state in the base workflow after the subflow completes. In this video, you learned what workflow is, why people use it, when workflow is useful, and finally, some common workflow use cases. Now that we've given you an overview, it's time to learn more about workflow states and transitions.